One throws 98 as a high schooler and is likely taken in this year's MLB Draft. The other is a college All-American transferring to Nebraska. Today, two elite pitchers are revealing exactly how to level up your velocity, confidence, and mindset, especially if you're an underdog throwing in the low 80s and feeling stuck. You're about to hear secrets nobody talks about from guys who've done exactly what you're dreaming of. Let's lock in. Let's get into it. Cooper, I want to just kind of ask you right off the bat, bro. Just give me some of your background on how you got to where you're at right now, and how it started in high school, bro. How you fell in love with the game, when you started realizing oh, hey, wait, maybe I'm a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay. And then maybe your journey to get here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I would say I was average for most of my baseball career. I was, good enough to hang around like some of those elite level players that you see now. Like obviously Alex Hale, like I was fortunate enough to play on his team, and we were super freaking good. And after that summer, that was my junior summer, I committed to Iowa Western. Because Coach Dylan Napoleon was there, and it seemed like a really good fit. And I knew that I wanted to play baseball after college, but obviously I didn't think I was quite ready for it. And a year or 2 years in a program like Iowa Western was obviously what I was thinking to get me to the next level. I ended up transferring back home to Colorado to finish out my senior season, and I did super well. I got an opportunity to go play for Indiana after decommitting from Iowa Western. So I spent my first 2 years there. I had an okay first year. My second year, I got hurt. I got bone edema in my humerus. So my bones started swelling because I was working real hard. And after seeing, two of my best friends got drafted their sophomore year, and those were like my closest peers. And that was kind of the point where I was like, hey, I can hang with these kids. I've seen what they do. I know how to do it. All it takes is work ethic and just trying to do that 1%. Just get that much better. So I moved out here and started working out at Chips, and luckily Jace took me in, and I've been living with Jace. And I knew, I was like, hey, there's no other choice. Like if I really want to do this, I'm hurt, I'm injured, I have no real good track record. Like it's now or never. Like you have to go all in. And I'm not saying like 60% all in. Like you have to do everything in your power, from sleep, diet, eating, all of it. All of it. It's intentional. It's intentional. And you have to be consistent. Like you can say you can do it for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but I did it for 2 years, and I put my whole life into it. And like obviously there were sacrifices had to be made, and there was a lot of time that you spent with myself thinking about like, man, like maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I can't do it. But I got up every morning and kept working, and I had a really good summer. I threw I think 23 innings, didn't give up a single run. Miami of Ohio took a chance on me. My sister's a freshman there, so I wanted to go be with her because I felt, like being close to my family was important. And through the whole injury process, that was something I kind of leaned on, was my family, of course. And I stayed consistent, like I said, through my work ethic and the things that I held close to my heart through this whole year. And even at the start, I was 6th, 7th on the depth chart at Miami of Ohio. But I really didn't let that affect me because I knew that there was more for me, and I knew that I could outwork all of these kids by doing the little things that they wouldn't do, because everybody can do the big things. Everybody can do the working out and the throwing and the velo programs, but like people aren't dedicated to getting 8 hours of sleep a night. That's the real separator, and it goes to show I had a really good year, and fortunately I'm getting to go play at the University of Nebraska with this kid, hopefully. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel.
Love that, bro. That's huge. You said with this kid, hopefully. So Jace here throws fuzz. Okay, Jace, same thing to you, man. Just give me some background on you, man, when you started realizing like, oh goodness, okay, wait, so I'm a little bit different. Maybe I'm destined for a little bit more. Like, walk me through how you got here.
So growing up my entire life, I was the worst kid on my team. I was only on the team because my dad was the coach, and it was me and my twin brother, and we were the worst two players on the team until I was about 14. I grew a little bit, and that's when I was like, all right, I can kind of hang in here.
That's late, dude.
I know.
That's almost a late bloomer.
Yeah.
That's a late bloomer, dude.
It was crazy because I was like I knew it that I wasn't good enough, and I was like, but I loved it so much. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep doing it, and we keep showing up. And then I grew a little bit. My freshman year, I was on JV. It was nothing crazy. And then that summer, everything kind of changed a little bit because I started playing with Alex Hale, like he said. So I started playing on Alex Hale's travel team, and I mean, he just like changed my whole perspective on everything. And he just made me feel like I was one of the better players on the team. And like, to be honest, I was probably average on that team, but like I felt like it in my mind that I was one of the best players on the team. So that summer, I started throwing a little bit harder, got up to like 87. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. So then, like a couple months later, I went to a Nebraska camp through the Prospects, which is the team that Hale coaches, and I hit 88. And like 2 days later, they called and offered me. And at the time, my mom had breast cancer, and I had kind of always known that I wanted to stay home. And I just looked at it as a great opportunity. So I kind of took that and ran with it because, to be honest, I don't think I was good enough for them to offer me, but I had a really good camp, and I just took the opportunity and made the most of it and just kept working, kept building off it. And then I just kept growing, got with my guys at Tread Athletics, and they just got me on some different programs, just focusing on moving weight fast and all that stuff. And I got up to 95, and I was like, holy shit, this is getting kind of real. And so then I went out there my junior year and had just a amazing spring, but I was just fastball only, just blowing it by guys. And I met Cooper in the summer, like early June, and I just loved him so much and basically told him, I was like, all right, you're going to move in with me. And he changed my views on everything, and he took it to the next level with the nutrition, the sleep, and everything. I was like 175 pounds at the time, and he's like, all right, we're pounding like 8 protein shakes a day. We're doing it all. And by the end of the summer, I was like 195. So it was crazy. And I mean, I'm so thankful for him. And then I just continued to instill his process even as he left for college, and we would talk all the time about it. And I mean, I look, and now I'm throwing 97, and it's awesome. It's surreal.
So it's absolutely wild, dude. So you talk a little bit about Cooper, like what he's been able to kind of like instill in you and show what's possible, dude. What's happening? When we talk about confidence on the mound, talk about velo on the mound. Okay, we talk about things that are like necessary almost for success. Okay, I don't know anything about pitching.
Yeah.
Right, but I know stuff about mindset. Okay, what is something mindset wise that took your velo or took your confidence to the next level, Coop? Obviously, like stuff that you've been able to pass down over here, dude. But like for you, man, what was it?
I mean, just knowing that I put in the work, I put in the hours, I put in the time, like the late nights, early mornings of just grinding. When I got the opportunity to get the ball, you're like, hey, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. And even with that, I wouldn't say it's arrogance, but if you don't think you're the best, then you're probably not the best.
Amen.
And so when I step out there, I know like I don't care who I'm facing. I don't care like how good they're supposed to be or how bad they're supposed to be. I'm the man for the job every single time. Like that, I was made for this. I was built for this. I wouldn't have done and put in all this work if I was going to walk out here and be scared and think I'm not ready. Because if I were to have done that, then I'm just doing a disservice to myself. Because I mean, doubt's going to kill more dreams than failure ever will. So if I step out there and I get rocked and I get shelled, but I was attacking and they were just hitting my stuff, then you tip the cap. I put my best foot forward, and I got to keep working. But I don't want to walk out there and seem scared and seem like I'm not ready or prepared.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
Jace, dude. So you're talking about throwing upper nines still in high school, bro. That is insane. Everybody's chasing this stuff, dude. Everybody's. I mean, at least from my vantage point, dude, everybody's throwing 100 plus almost nowadays in the big leagues, right? It seems like it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Shohei Ohtani's supposed to come back today. I just remembered. It's crazy. Man, what is like the most misunderstood part about throwing fuzz, dude?
Well, the thing about it nowadays is it seems like you almost need to throw hard to get recruited, but just because you throw hard, like that doesn't mean you're good. You still have to be able to locate it and everything like that. You have to have good off speed because when you get to that next level, people can hit a fastball. They can square it up. They can time it up. So you need to be able to vary your looks and all that stuff like that. But also, like, I feel like it's a big misconception. Like, you don't need to throw hard at a young age. I didn't throw hard until like 2 years ago. Like, my freshman year in high school, I threw like 77 miles an hour. Like, you don't need to be the best player in the world right now. You just need to be like as good as you can possibly be, work as hard as you can, and the rest should take care of itself.
Love that, dude. Cooper, so, man, we talked about success, dude. We talked about, like, success leaves clues, man. There's breadcrumbs there. There's some reason why that guy's nasty, okay? Obviously, dude, you have, the God-given ability and your talents, and you're born with what you got, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, you talk about your discipline and, like, how pedal to the metal you are. You can achieve any of that stuff, right? If you really put your mind to it, dude. We talk about routines. We talk about being consistent and stuff, dude. With your success, man,
Mm-hmm.
okay? What's something that nobody sees in your routine, in your preparation, nobody sees, but it makes all the difference, dude?
Just the way I approach my work of like, hey, this is the most important thing that I have to do today. I'm not going to take this rep off. I'm not going to take this throw off. If I'm playing catch play, every throw that I have like is with intent. I'm not just throwing just to throw. I'm not just throwing and I'm sending them high and sending them right and sending them left. I'm like, all right, this one's going to go right in his chest, or I'm going to land this curveball right at his belt. And just being very methodical about how I go about the business. And kind of with that, I feel like it needs to be said is it spreads. It spreads and people see it and people listen and people know. And I mean, I was lucky enough to have 8 guys behind me this year who they saw it and they loved when I walked out there because they knew that I was going to give my best. And I knew that all 8 of them were going to give their best as well.
W. Jace, man, we talk a lot to the next generation of baseball players, man. That is predominantly, the younger demographic of baseball players, man. So there are a plethora of listeners that are listening to the 9 Hole that are younger than you do, okay? What is something that you learned, either mentally or physically this year, that has made all the difference for you?
You got to live in the moment. You can't look on the future, can't reflect on the past. You got to live and focus on this pitch because so what, you made an error. I mean, it's going to happen. It's baseball, but you can't live on that. You can't let it affect you. You just got to live in the moment. I feel like that's a big thing that younger players need to focus on because they're so caught up on the past and then they just let it spiral out of control. And they're so caught up in the future like, oh, if I do bad, this school's not going to offer me, ... But you just got to live in the moment and control what you can control.
I love that, dude. Cooper, man, last question I got for you. Again, I'm so grateful for the time here. This is going to be huge, man. What message do you have to a pitcher that is throwing 81 miles an hour, who is under-recruited, undersized, man, and wondering if he's ever going to throw gas?
I mean, I just got to say, prove him wrong. Everybody will always look and they'll always hate and there's always going to be doubt. A lot of people won't support you no matter how good or how bad you are. Like I've had people tell me my whole life I wasn't good enough or I'm so good, but the only opinion that should matter is yours. Like you spend more time listening to the voice in your head than you do any other voice. So why not make it a good one and make it feel like, hey, I'm the man for this. This is awesome. Like this is exciting. How lucky am I to get this opportunity? Like you can do it.
W. Jace, same thing, brother. What message do you have to the kid that's pumping 81, doing everything he can, under-recruited, and wondering if he's ever going to be a dude, wondering if he's ever going to touch the upper nines, man? What do you got?
Keep showing up, keep stacking days because there's going to be people that they're good now, but they're going to stop working because they think they're good. They're going to get satisfied. And you're not. You're going to keep showing up, and it's going to pay off.
You just heard straight from 2 pitchers who are exactly where you are right now. Underdogs who chose to push harder, who chose to think smarter, and chose to dominate their development. If you got value from this episode, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let me know in the comments, man, which tip hit the hardest. Stay locked into the 9 Hole, would ya? Keep chasing your dreams, and most importantly, fellas, keep grinding.